Hey everybody, welcome back to Oopsie Daisy. Thanks so much for tuning in with me today. I am your host, Amanda Herdler, and I just want to get the elephant out of the room right away that if you are watching this on YouTube, heck yes, I have a pimple patch right in the middle of my forehead. You guys, I think that the younger generation has it right. Do you ever go through a drive-through? I was at Sephora one day getting some makeup stuff, and these gals are just wearing these pimple patches. Here's a bright blue star or a yellow sun on my chin. And I thought to myself, never in my younger days, never would I have dared call attention to a zit on my face. I'd be putting foundation on it way too much. That probably makes it way more obvious than it already was. But I was like, you know what? Today, I am going to wear my pimple patch. I'm going to channel my inner Gen Z and just be so for real about something that happens to every single one of us, even into our 40s, which is our skin is not perfect and we should not expect it to be. Also, if you're not watching on YouTube, there's no need to just run over there and check it out. I promise it's not a big deal. It's just a clear one. But I wanted to just let you know because I can see it in the camera and I'm like, oh man, this is either going to be something I got to talk about or an audio only episode because we got some stuff going on. So aside from acne, let's talk about our topic this week, which is asking for and receiving help. And I don't know why that is so hard for so many of us. Let me tell you what happened and how this whole thing kind of came about. A few weeks ago, I was in a really, really intense kind of couple week period where I just did not have enough hours in the day to finish what I was supposed to finish. And it was really stressful. I had a lot of looming deadlines. There was a lot of extracurricular activities to juggle. Personally, I wasn't feeling great. I wasn't sleeping. I don't know what it was, but my body kept waking me up at 2:30 in the morning. And do you think I could go back to sleep? Absolutely not. So we're talking zero sleep, ton of stress, no time to rest. And I hit a moment at about 3:45 in the morning where I was laying in my bed crying. And I thought to myself, I can't do this. I need more time than the next day is going to afford to me. Somebody else has to help me. Otherwise, I'm going to lose my mind. So I texted my mom after laying in bed for 2 hours debating on doing it. Wednesday, February 25th, 4:52 a.m. I'm just going to flat out read it to you. Okay, I am officially asking for help. Wondering if you'd be willing to take Kenna to practice today. I've been up since 1:30. I'm incredibly overwhelmed and I need to hand something over to somebody before I lose my mind. It was this tear-filled call for help that for some reason, even to my own mom, I was so reluctant to do. I had spent 3 hours lying awake trying to figure out how to jam-pack, juggle everything in my schedule before I finally realized that it's just not possible. And she immediately agreed. Well, immediately as in a couple hours later when normal people woke up. And she agreed and it was not a big deal for her at all. And I said, I owe you big. Ew, why do I feel so uncomfortable asking for help? And she said, asking for help is so hard. I don't do it well at all either. What does God say about asking for help? I bet we aren't supposed to feel icky about it. And I was like, dang, Mom, just dropping some wisdom for me. And so she shared Galatians 6:2 with me. Simple verse, rocked my world and really convicted me that I have not been great at this. And it's actually not a character flaw. It's borderline disobedience. So let's talk about that today. Let's talk about what the Bible says about helping each other, asking for help, and also why we have such a hard time allowing other people to help us. So start with scripture. Galatians 6:2, it says, share each other's burdens and in this way obey the law of Christ. Another version says, carry one another's burdens, and in this way you will fulfill the requirements of the law of Christ. That is the law of Christian love. And immediately my mind went to this whole, okay, I think I do a good job of helping people. Whenever anybody asks, I reach out to help. I volunteer when needed. And I just was like kind of going through in my head how I am fulfilling that verse to other people. And the Holy Spirit stopped me and kind of made me look at this verse in reverse. The verse in reverse. So instead of sharing each other's burdens and in this way obey the law of Christ, what if we think about it like this? Allow your burdens to be shared by other people, and in this way they obey the law of Christ. It's one thing for me to volunteer, to pitch in, to get my hands dirty, to help somebody else. But when it comes right down to it, am I willing to release my own load, release my burden, ask for help when my things get heavy, and allow somebody to do that for me? And I'm not. I wasn't. If I was, I don't think I'd have felt so weird asking flat out for help and telling somebody that I can't do it. But when we hang on to our own burdens, when we struggle with them alone and try to make it happen without sort of outsourcing to other people and allowing other people to take the load, we're blocking somebody else's obedience. There is somebody else that God has put in your life that is meant to, is waiting to, is anointed to be Galatians 6:2 for you. And they're waiting for an opportunity. They see you struggling and they want to share in your burdens so they can obey the law of Christ too. And if we never set anything down, we're not allowing anybody else a chance to live out Galatians 6:2 in our lives. So it's like a double whammy. One, we struggle way too hard for way too long in a way too isolated way. And two, somebody else isn't fulfilling the law of the love of Jesus because they don't have an opportunity to help you. Let's reverse the verse on verse 3 too. That was way too many verses in one sentence. Listen to 3. If you think you're too important to help someone, you're only fooling yourself. You're not that important. And I'm going to be real. I don't think that's an issue for a lot of us. Okay, maybe a lot of people in my circle. I don't know a lot of people that think that they're too good to help someone. But I do know way too many of us that think that we are too good, too strong, too efficient, too with it to be helped. So reverse the verse. If you think you are too important to be helped by someone, you're only fooling yourself. You're not that important. We are called as Christians, as a family of believers, as the body of Christ, to bear one another's burdens, to help share the heavy loads of life as we just sort of muddle and stumble through this thing. God has set people around you that will help you. But the first step to bearing one another's burdens is sharing about one another's burdens. You have to be open and reach out. You can't expect people just to see what you're struggling with in life and swoop in and save you. There are times when God has support in the form of a person for you to help carry your load, and we block it by keeping our mouth shut. And as I noodled on this for a while, I was like, this makes a lot of sense. This should be second nature. Automatic, so easy, especially with other believers. They know what it looks like to spread the love of Jesus and that they're called to lighten the load with each other. So why do we hesitate? Why do we have such a hard time letting people in and letting people help carry our heavy load? I think there's 5 main reasons, 5 that applied to me. All 5. I wish it was just one. But as I was going through everything, I was like, yeah, This is me. Oh, this one's me too. So I have 5 main reasons why I have a hard time letting people carry my burdens. And I guarantee, my friend, that you will see yourself in one of these as well. So let's talk about number 1. This one's insidious, sneaky, kind of ingrained in us in society. And that's the fact that we confuse independence with strength. So many of us were taught growing up or have been taught by the world's messages that being strong means being able to handle everything on your own. It means you've got it together. It means you're organized enough, that you bossed up enough, that you have so many routines and rules and disciplines set up in your life that nothing's fallen through the cracks. Asking for help in today's world can feel like a failure. It can feel like I'm not good enough. I screwed up. I'm not as good at organizing things. I should have handled my time better. I should have not scheduled myself this thick. I should just be able to pull myself up by my bootstraps and push through. But this is what I love about kingdom mindsets and kingdom principles, is that it literally turns it on its head. And so in God's kingdom, dependence is strength. Asking for help is where we find strength, energy, freedom. Surrendering our hard things to God and others allows Him to work divinely in your situations. The world's not going to tell you that. We have to go against the standard messaging of society and be willing to speak openly about what we need, what would help us, and what somebody else can do to help alleviate our load. I just have these songs floating in my head too. All the women independent. It's such a cherished quality, especially as a female right now, to be able to stand on your own 2 feet. I don't need no man. I don't need anybody else. I can do this. I can hustle. I can fight. I can push. I have enough grit to grind this thing through. And my friends, I'm just going to tell you, that's the antithesis, the absolute opposite of how we're commanded to think, to behave, and the perspective that we're supposed to have as Christians. It's going to be uncomfortable to ask for help, but asking for help does not make you less than, and it doesn't make you weak. Second reason that we struggle to let other people bear our burdens is that we don't want to inconvenience anybody. A lot of people think, oh, she already has enough going on. I'm not going to ask her to do more. I don't really want to bother them. I know that they have their own stuff to worry about. I'll just deal with it. We assume 2 very incorrect and probably very damaging things about ourselves and others with that mindset. And the first is that I, myself, am a burden. That I only have value to other people when things are going good. It assumes that when I'm struggling and that when I'm less than perfect and I can't do it, that I'm not adding anything to anybody's life. And there is like a deep root of just insecurity and falsehood around that. Your meaning and value and worth to people are not dependent on what you can do or on what you can produce. You, as a person, your personality, your love, your laughter, your light, your sparkle, your care, that matters more to people than what you can do for them. And the opposite of that is that assumes that whoever you're in relationship with and you're scared to ask for help from, that they are that shallow that they would be disgusted and turned off and just sort of angered by your request. I don't know what happened to us as children or as a society, and what we've started to believe, that we have such a low opinion of other people as well, that those people don't have good intentions for us in their heart and wouldn't want to help us. By assuming they'd be angry about helping us, we don't even ask. And then we steal their ability to show their love and compassion for us and other people. Third reason why it's hard to ask for help is pride. And we touched on this a little bit earlier, but not the kind of pride that is like pounding your chest and proclaiming to the world how amazing you are. It's not arrogance. I'm talking about pride in the form of self-sufficiency. This deep-seated belief that no matter what I'm facing, I can handle it. I don't need anybody else. In the face of everything, that I can handle it, and I can handle it alone. That I am quick on my feet, that I can make my own decisions, that I can move my own mountains, no matter what comes my way. I have this one a lot. This one's kind of hard to like reconcile and sort of wrestle with in my head, because we live in this world that tells us those things, that tells us that it's great to be able to handle things on our own, and it means you are strong and it means you are determined. But I think underneath that pride is this desire to stay self-sufficient because we like to be in control. Even when everything feels uncontrollable, chaotic, unmanageable, we still want to have the illusion that we are the one driving the bus. And if I choose to hand off something to somebody else, do I trust other people enough to get it done? To get it done in time, in the way that I want, enough of what I want? And what sucks is the answer is probably no. This was evidenced in the fact of how many instructions I think I gave my mom when she was going to take my daughter to volleyball practice. It's really not that hard. Get her in the car at this time, head to Burnsville, drop her off, pick her up. Wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. It doesn't matter what I'm letting people help with. I have like a set of detailed instructions for how it needs to be done so that it's done the way that I like it. My friends, that is control, wearing a mask of pride, wreaking havoc in your life. Fourth reason it's so difficult for us to ask for help is the fear of being seen and being judged. Letting somebody else carry your burden usually requires courageous vulnerability and radical honesty. It's an honesty about your weakness, pain, confusion, failure, your gaps, your droppings of all the balls. That vulnerability feels incredibly risky because we don't know the other person's emotional or internal reaction to that. Are you judging me? Do you think that I suck at my life and my family because I didn't do this perfectly? Because I need you to step in? Are you cataloging in your head all the ways that you can do it better than me and all of the reasons why I'm screwing up and how I should have done it different? It's hard for us to show our soft underbellies and allow space and opportunity for potential judgment. And the last reason that we have a hard time asking for help is that we don't trust that people will actually show up. Not that they don't want to, but that other people aren't reliable enough for us. And sometimes this comes from past experience. Sometimes you have been let down so many times that you just have inserted yourself into the position that if I want something done, I have to do it myself, no matter what the cost, come hell or high water to my finances, emotions, spirituality, physical health, I need to be the one that does it because I can't trust anybody else. And this one's not so much about controlling and making sure things are the way that we like it. This one's more about it just feeling safer to carry alone. There's no risk of being disappointed. There's no risk of a weighty and hard conversation when you try to turn to somebody for help or for advice and they minimize it, they forget about it, they don't do it, it's not important to them. That's hurtful to us. And we carry those hurts for so long that we build these walls, and slowly but surely, we just learn to rely only on ourselves to avoid heartache, to avoid disappointment, to avoid frustration. It's okay to ask for help. It's important to ask for help. And as we've seen scripturally, we have to ask for help. We were never designed to carry this weight alone. And what I'm slowly learning is that I have a hard time asking other people for help, but this also bleeds into my relationship with God. That I don't turn to Him first when I need something. Do you know who I turn to? Me. Because I'm a doer. I make things happen. I get things done. I'm high functioning, high achieving, hot mess that desperately needs help, but has a really hard time trusting other people and God to provide it. Me asking my mom for help that morning kind of like broke open the floodgates. And I don't know why this is making me tear up. I think it's just been a long 4 decades of me sort of just soldiering on, pretending that I can do it all. And so after I asked her for help, and I just really felt God say, you have to speak up. You have to speak up for what you need. You cannot be afraid to show weakness and tell people that you can't handle something. So that same morning at work, I got a third project put on my plate, one that I did not have time for. I was already incredibly overwhelmed with the first 2. And I really, really felt pressured to say yes. So I did. And I was panicking because I knew that I couldn't handle it. A week before, when this project landed in my lap, my boss had told me, I want you to lead this session and I want you to organize this and I want you to do this. And I was panicking because my other 2 projects were already taking up more than 100% of my time. I had no time to do this or to do it well. And so I set up a meeting with him and I just very openly said to him, I'm afraid that if I say yes to these tasks, that I won't do any of them well. I am at my breaking point. I don't have capacity for this. I would like to help, but here's my boundaries. I told him roughly how many hours a week I had to devote to the project. I told him that I couldn't lead all these sessions with the client, that I couldn't make the deck from scratch. And I kind of braced myself for this backlash of like, you're a bad employee. Why can't you handle this? This is your job. This is the expectation of you. And you know what he did? He met me with such compassion and grace. He thanked me for sharing with him where I was at. And we walked through the first couple weeks of the project, everything that needed to be tackled. And we went item by item. And he asked, can you do this? Who should do this? Let's give it to this person. Let's give it to this person instead. And so he was able to sort of dole out the activities to the other people on the team to help lighten my load. And at the end, he encouraged me. He said, you're doing a great job. Keep it up. I'm here for you if you need help. If you start feeling like you're drowning in these tasks that I've given you, please speak up again. And I thought to myself, you know what? If my boss at work can do that, who truly probably doesn't care that much about me as a person. Let's be real. I bring in money. I make things for clients. I collect a paycheck. I'm not on his radar personally. And so if that person could react to me like that, how much more will God do for me when I am very vulnerable and real with him and say, I can't do this. I'm really struggling with this. This weight feels too heavy for me to carry on my own. Since then, I've been very, very vocal with God and other people about what works for me and what doesn't. About what feels way too heavy for me and what I can very well take on. Life gets heavy and life gets hard, but we were designed to help each other carry it and to help each other walk through it. Allow a weight to be lifted off of you by somebody else. Allow somebody else to bear your burden. It's so much easier for you, and it gives them a chance to practice their obedience, their love, and their compassion. That's all I got for you today, my friend. Go forth and just start dropping burdens on everybody. That's what I feel like I'm doing lately, but it has helped, and I know it will help you too. I just want to encourage you in this season that feels tired and crazy and weird that you can make it through with the help of other people. I love you guys. We'll talk next week.